This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Today's theme on The Ramsey Show, stirring up a holy ruckus.
I love it.
George Camel is my co-host today, and he started off this week stirring up a holy ruckus. We downloaded a new episode of, I think there's 10 episodes of The Fine Print, a new podcast that we have here that where if you read the fine print, it will make you pissed off at an industry that's screwing you. Yeah, you need to read the fine print or just things that people believe that are false, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're digging into them, and today's is a beehive. George dared to expose the mythology around Bitcoin will make you rich.
Uh-oh. I feel like this
they're
is
going to burn your
highlight.
house down.
Yeah, this is going to be a YouTube highlight. I can already see the comments. I see the vision of comments. Dave, here's the thing. I took a baseball bat to the beehive of cryptocurrency to help people understand what it is. And you've talked about it on air. You're not anti-crypto, but we're anti-get-rich-quick. We're anti-short-term thinking. And the world of cryptocurrency is so confusing, even for smart people. And people are just diving in, throwing money at this thing, and it's becoming the next roulette table.
Yeah. If your money's named after a dog, it could be a problem.
Dogecoin, there it is. And it's not even pronounced properly.
I know.
But it's a meme, it's a whole thing. Again.
Yeah.
It's a wild world.
So check it out, the new podcast. This is the fifth episode.
I think the fifth or sixth. I'm losing track now.
Yeah. We got a total of 10.
Yeah.
In the can. And so it's a new podcast on the Ramsey Network called The Fine Print. Be sure and check it out. Today's hour, we're going to stir up another holy ruckus. One of my favorite things to trash, crime shares. I mean timeshares.
You mispronounced it. Wait, you didn't. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Fleecing a car, I did not mispronounce either. It's leasing a car, but I understand. But one of my buddies calls it crime shares because it is the largest legalized fraud in America today. $10 billion of ripping off old people and people that couldn't afford to buy their own vacation, so they went in the tiger cage and got ate by the tiger and bought a timeshare.
Why are people still doing it? I don't understand.
Of control. So if you've been ripped off by the timeshare industry, or you love your timeshare, if you want to call in and tell us how much you love it, if you have just done the timeshare thing, love it or not, we're going to talk about timeshares this hour. Lots to talk about. A lot
in the news. You've got a whole stack of papers here.
And I got papers all over my desk, and I usually have none. I usually just take your calls and we do it. But this is such an interesting thing. Here's a brand new article just came out. Staff Sergeant Mike Lowe had just returned from a 6-month deployment home to his wife, Siobhan, and their 6-month-old child. They were looking for some better life balance. This was a good idea to take us a yearly vacation, he thought. This was a timeshare. So instead of honoring the Lowe's military service, the salesperson for the timeshare operator Wyndham leveraged it as a sales pitch. They played off the thing of you deploy and it might be a year or two before you see each other. They said this might be a good opportunity to ensure that you use that valuable time. Wow. Preying on a young military family is a new low, even for timeshare nightmare stories. The low tale sounds too familiar. A manipulative sales pitch accompanied by false promises, fine print, there it is.
Yes.
And fees, lots of fees. The Lowe's ended up losing about $20,000 and got virtually nothing in return from Wyndham. Shortly after they signed, Wyndham told them the program had changed. Shocking. And they couldn't use the properties they'd signed up for, but the dumpy ones were available. I put that in there. And a new plan at even greater expense could provide what they wanted so you can upgrade if you're stupid enough to get screwed twice. I added that too. It all led to some unbearable stress mentally and emotionally. It put a lot of strain on our marriage, not to mention their careers, with the Lowe's struggling to make the mortgage payments. They worried about bad credit, hurting their security clearance, threatening their military status, and then the reality hit that what they signed meant for their children would take over the deed, and the ever-increasing fees came with the program. I felt like we were a prisoner to Wyndham, said Mike Lowe, Staff Sergeant Mike Lowe, after serving his country, this is the way that Wyndham served him.
Wow. I can't even believe this. This is a real article.
Yeah, I didn't make it up. Timeshare nightmares from newsherald.com. Man, pretty incredible. Absolutely over the top. This, the thing is, you go into the tiger cage. That's what I call it. Because so what's happening is, and most of you have heard this pitch, or some of you have done it. Didn't you tell me you did it one time?
I almost did it, and I was like, I'm going to say no and get the free spa
Good. I don't
day.
have to smack you in the back of the head. Just pop.
I almost fell for the pitch. I didn't almost fall for the timeshare just because I thought I'm good. Yeah. But then I realized I don't want to spend 4 hours of my vacation with this lady.
With some sleazeburger that I have to take a shower after going in there. Yeah. Oh my gosh!
But
no, here's the thing. You're walking along the street and the zoo manager runs out and says, "Hey, a free pass to the zoo for a year. All you have to do is go in the tiger cage and sit with the tiger and pet him for an hour." Note. The tiger's not been fed in 3 days, and he's a bit greedy at this moment. This is what you're doing when you go into a timeshare sales pitch, because they know if you get out the door, the chances of them ever closing the sale is 0. And so they will do anything. Legal, illegal. They will do any kind of manipulative tactic. 1 hour turns into 4 hours, turns into 8 hours. They ship old people in on buses for these presentations from nursing homes. They really do this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Diamond International, some of the stuff Mike Flasky and that team did was unbelievable. Note, though, that has now been sold to the good people over at Hilton. They paid $1 billion to buy the largest timeshare company in the world, Diamond International, and word on the street is, I've not been able to verify it, that Mike Flasky and his executive team all got fired.
Wow.
Mr. Timeshare himself. So I kind of popped him on Twitter a couple times and said, "Hey, Mikey," and he went, "Hey, Davey." So we had a little fun going back and forth, and pretty much telling him what I thought of his rip-off crook industry. And now he's out of a job because Hilton bought them, and they are trying to clean up the reputation of Diamond. Woo! You're going to need a big scoop for all that poop, buddy. I'm just saying. Hey, that's Hilton, you done messed up. You stepped in it, and you're going to have to shovel.
But they wouldn't
and you'll
buy
still, at the end of the day, be in the timeshare business, Hilton.
Yeah.
Not good.
Which means they're going to be making more than $1 billion off of this enterprise.
Oh, yeah. They wouldn't have put $1 billion into it if they weren't going to make more out.
It is a money-making scheme.
However, several stockholders objected to the sale at Hilton and wanted them to not close on it. It did close, and they did fire Flasky, who's pretty much a glorified... Yeah. I was going to call him a used car salesman, but that'd be an upgrade. That'd be an upgrade. I'd be putting down my friends that sell used cars. I mean, golly. No, this is just it's a horrible, nasty industry. Have you ever seen the documentary The Queen of Versailles? Oh, yeah. Look that one up. Talk about what?
I thought you were going to say, have you seen Tiger King?
Well, it's right there. It's right there, buddy. Now, The Queen of Versailles is about the wife of one of the billionaire owners of Westgate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ma, taking your calls on timeshares. Ew. This is The Ramsey Show. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Tonight, George and Christy Wright and I will all be doing together the Game Plan live stream. It's a free live stream happening tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. You do not have to settle for normal, not normal with managing your time, managing your goals, or managing your money. The three of us are going to talk you through that. And so be prepared to sit down with some popcorn and whatever else you need to sit through a little bit of life change, baby. We're going to give you a game plan tonight at 7 p.m. Central. And there's a couple of seats left here in the auditorium for those that want to be here in person. You can check out all of that. So to register for Game Plan Live, text Game Plan to 33789. You and about 20,000 of your closest friends will be tuning into this live stream. Again, it's free. It's tonight at 7 p.m. Central. Game Plan Live. We're going to give you a game plan. Text Game Plan to 33789. 33789. So, George, we know that timeshares are among the top 10 scams that cost older Americans the most, according to the AARP. Number 7, timeshare sales, $17.4 million, and number 10, timeshare resales, $12.5 million. So a $30 million hit on the elderly, which is primarily what they prey on, among other people who are willing to go into the tiger cage. All right, let's take some calls from you. If you've got a timeshare and want to talk about it, the phone number's 888-825-5225. This hour is dedicated to the timeshare business. Oh, Natalie's with us in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Natalie, tell us your story.
Thank you, Dave. It's an honor to speak with you.
You too.
My timeshare story started back in 2012. My now ex-husband and I went to a timeshare presentation, and he thought he was smarter than they were. So we bought ours off of eBay for $5,000 instead of through them at their price.
Oh.
Then about 2 years later.
Which company?
With Marriott.
Oh.
Yeah. Then about 2 years later, we purchased another one. This time for $4,500. In the end, we had 2 weeks at the Marriott out in Hawaii on near Koalina. We used it for many years without any problems, but once we decided to trade our weeks in, that's when we discovered it was not as wonderful as they had claimed it was. It would cost more money, and it was very hard to get availability at the location as nice as ours was. Fast forward to 2016, and we ended up getting divorced. I gave my ex-husband both of the timeshares. I thought it would just be the fact of Marriott taking my name off their records. But once I contacted Marriott, I found out the deeds needed to be changed, along with filing paperwork with Marriott and then paying another fee to them.
Of course.
Yeah. Luckily, I worked for a real estate attorney, so I was familiar with the process and could do the deeds and filings myself with the county out in Hawaii. So after 8 months, I finally get the deeds back from Hawaii, and I send them off to Marriott. After Marriott cashed my check, several weeks went by, and they sent me an email saying that one of our deeds was wrong, and they would not be removing my name until it was changed and re-recorded.
And you had to pay another fee, of course.
No, I was beyond that at this point. I mean, I was beyond that.
It's easier to get rid of the ex-husband than Marriott.
It was. That's so true. And I knew the deeds were correct, you know. So I went right to the Better Business Bureau and filed a complaint. I was contacted right away by Marriott Vacation Club, by an executive there.
Shocking.
And I let them know matter-of-factly what exactly was needed on a deed to be recorded, and that I had 2 legal documents stating that I was not the owner and that no court of law would ever hold me liable for these. Then I also let them know that by cashing my check, they were now in breach of contract since they had not performed the work they promised. They agreed with me, and within a few hours, that I had my name removed from both these timeshares. And now I'm working to make sure that my son doesn't inherit these, and to ultimately educate others about what can happen.
But that's what these companies do, like Marriott. They're big, and the only thing they respond to is getting the crap smacked out of them that gets their attention, and then suddenly an executive grows a backbone and a little bit of integrity and calls you up. Instead, they had put in place entire systems to make sure you couldn't get out of the rat maze.
And what people don't know is that I called the department that handles the transfer of the deeds. None of the people there knew anything about deeds. They knew nothing about special warranty deeds, about property.
No,
deeds.
wait a minute. You're saying that Marriott's timeshare transfer division's incompetent? Shocking.
Yes, I felt that they were. So, yeah, and not proper. They're not properly educated. So they are, as you said, they're trying to bully people who maybe aren't educated. Also, they're expecting them to, be the ones who know what to do, and they don't. So I felt very, very fortunate that I did have that legal background to be able to push back and get this done.
Yeah. So, George, when I was a kid,
you feel hopeless. The big part is you feel hopeless when they do this to you.
Oh, yeah, it beats the snot out of you. Mm-hmm. But not you, because when I was a kid, I had this bulldog that would grab a towel and shake it,
Oh, yeah.
And she would bite onto it so hard that you could lift her off the ground. That's Natalie.
A little bit.
She got a hold of it. She ain't letting go till they're gonna do what they're supposed to do. You can try to knock me down, but I've already got rid of the ex-husband. I'm getting rid of you too, Marriott. Look at you, girl.
She advocated for herself. Way to go, Natalie. It's awesome. Most people are not going to do that, and they're hoping for that, and they know that's what's going to happen. It's most people just go, well, whatever. I don't know the process. I'll just deal with it. I'll just pay it. And Natalie, way to go to fight for yourself and get out of this nightmare.
I mean, it took you had what? 150 to 300 hours invested in this process just to get out of it.
It took months and months in Hawaii, because Hawaii has loads and loads of documents that have to be filled out that people would not understand. So most people have to have an attorney do this. And try finding an attorney who, you're in Hawaii, I'm here in Texas. It wouldn't have been easy if I didn't have that background. And so for other people, keep fighting, and to get away from this stuff.
Yeah, and that's after you bought one for almost nothing on eBay.
Well, they're pretty much giving them away over there. So.
Yeah, now they are. Now you can buy them for $2 if you'll just get me out. If you'll just take me off the deed, get rid of my dadgum monthly maintenance fee, which they go up on every freaking year. If I can get away from Marriott for $3, that's a deal. They'll sell them for $3 on eBay.
Because that included all the closing cost at the title company.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Cray. Wow. Thanks for sharing your story, Natalie. It's fairly typical. It's an industry that has a dissatisfaction level among its customers that's so high that there are almost no repeat customers.
Yeah. No one has 4 timeshares, and if they do, they're deep in this thing.
Yeah, well, we talk to somebody occasionally that does, and they're really into it, but they're a super small percentage. Almost everyone. The survey that we had, the Ramsey research team do some surveys. We'll cover some of those numbers later in the hour. If your all's dissatisfaction level with the Ramsey Show was even just a millisecond as high as we'd be out of business.
Oh yeah.
But these people just keep on shoveling.
You would think it'd be a sign if it's on eBay for $1 that it's probably not.
That it probably sucks? Yeah.
That's about the price of a Beanie Baby right now on eBay.
Oh,
if that tells you anything.
There's another one. Yeah, just keep bringing them up.
Be on the right side of history. All right, don't do this thing. Oh, man.
The Beanie Baby investment craze of the 1990s.
Timeshares.
My kid will go to college. I'm storing up Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies and Bitcoin, all in 1 hour. Who knows?
What a show.
Timeshares. That's what we're concentrating on this hour here on The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey personality, is my co-host. He's the host of our latest podcast on the Ramsey Networks called The Fine Print. Be sure and listen to this week's episode on Bitcoin. It will be at minimum interesting to you. We're talking timeshares this hour. America's largest legalized fraud. Over 10 billion people have been screwed by the timeshare business. And what are you buying when you buy a timeshare?
Air?
Ding, ding!
I got it.
Ding, ding! Yes. George got it. One more time. Say it louder for the people in the back.
You're buying air.
Okay.
Expensive air.
And if you add up, if you end up paying $14,000 for it and you finance it, and you add up your payments, you're paying $782 a night on average to stay there. Oh, and that's if you can get your week, and if you can get over there at the right time, and that's if they don't go up on the maintenance fees, and that's a lot of ifing.
A lot of ifs and buts.
Yeah, and I'm just saying it's a problem. And $782 a night will get you a pretty decent hotel room most places in the world, and you can travel wherever you'd like, and you are not handcuffed to stupidity. Jennifer is with us in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jennifer, tell us your timeshare story.
Hi, Dave. I'm happy to talk to you about my timeshare story.
Cool.
In 1996, my cousin invited me to go with her to Florida. She had this great deal with a nice place to stay, and okay, fine, a week in Florida, happy to, you know. So they were really targeting her until they figured out that I was gainfully employed, I owned my own home, so then they were on the attack for both of us. Well, my dad taught me probably when I was 17 in purchasing a car. Don't let them see you sweat. Be a rock. Don't give in. Don't look like you're dying to buy this car. So I was stellar. You know, I resisted. We walked out of there. I felt so good about us that we didn't fall for their timeshare buy. And it worked on me overnight. Everything they said, all of the lies, all of the trickery. And I went back there the next day and bought a timeshare. Went and sought them out the next day. And
you got out of the tiger cage alive.
Yes.
And you went back
right
and petted him again.
Went right back in. The part that got me was that they, you know, when they try to sell you something, they start really high, and then they go lower and lower and lower. They offered me to own my timeshare every other year. So I would only own on the odd years, and instead of $15,000, it was only going to be $7,500. So that sounded really good. Until that first year after I purchased, I got hit with a maintenance fee. And I thought, well, they've made a mistake. I'll call them up and explain.
There's no maintenance fee on a year that I don't stay there.
I don't know that year. This is the even year.
Of course
not. No, maintenance fees were every single year.
Yeah, and they charge you the full maintenance fee, probably.
Yeah. Oh,
not
yes.
a half.
Yes, full
Not a
maintenance fee, $250. And by the time we got rid of it, it was almost a $500. It was funny, too. So that was in 96. I met my husband in 97. He proposed in 99, and I said, oh, we can go to Hawaii. I own a timeshare. So proud of myself. Well, we couldn't go to Hawaii on that timeshare. They didn't have availability.
No.
So, you know, we could go back to Florida, which was nice. I mean, we paid a lot of money to go to Hawaii on our honeymoon, which was nice. But I felt so cheated because I owned a timeshare. I should be able to go wherever I want. I mean,
there you go.
They sold me on other countries and, you know, exotic places that never happened.
Yeah.
We traveled on it 4 times. We owned it until 2014. And in addition to that monthly maintenance, RCI had their hand in it, too. You had to be in good standing with RCI.
Yep.
And that was $100 a year.
Yep.
But if you bought 3 years at once, they'd lower it to $75.
That's a good deal.
So every few years, you get a, you know, $200.
Who was the company you actually bought the timeshare from?
Wyndham.
Oh,
Wyndham. And I'll tell you, it was a beautiful place.
Yep.
They were a yacht club. They owned 2 yachts that you could go to Florida and take 20 of your friends out on the yacht for the day. Who goes to Florida
did you ever get on the
with 20
boat?
friends? Never, not one time.
Never rode the boat?
Nope, never rode the boat, never got to go out on the yacht. And at one point, a hurricane affected the resort. And I thought, oh, were out of it. They had a timeshare holders meeting in Florida, and they were voting to see, are they going to knock this building down, or are they going to pay the money to repair it?
Mm-hmm.
And I voted by proxy, let's knock it down. And everybody would be out of it at that point. They repaired it. I still owned it. We didn't get out of it. It took, 18 years until...
Yeah, because Wyndham still owned the majority of the shares.
Yeah.
And they voted against you guys.
I'm sure they did.
It was
I'm
a cash
sure they did
cow.
in hindsight.
Absolutely, yeah.
In
People
hindsight.
found that out at COVID, too, that if you couldn't go because of COVID, it didn't matter. You still got charged.
Right. And that was the thing. When the hurricane hit, while the entire 2 years that building was under repair, I had no travel rights whatsoever.
Of course.
None.
Wow.
I couldn't even sell my week to go elsewhere because I didn't have a week to sell because that building was under repair. It was the biggest ripoff, and by the grace of God, we did finally get out of it, but it cost us money even to get out of it.
Yeah. How'd you get out?
We got a postcard in the mail from a company that was holding meetings in the northern Kentucky area to come hear what they had to offer about getting out of a timeshare.
How much did you pay to get out?
I think it was several $1,000s.
Yeah. That's a typical exit fee. And the timeshare industry has gone after the exit companies big time and after the attorneys that get people out of the timeshares. One of those attorneys is on the line. Jennifer, thank you for calling and sharing your story. Scott Montgomery is one of the attorneys out of Springfield, Missouri that actively gets people out of timeshares. And when we're doing a crime share hour, we always bring Scott on because he's an expert on this stuff. Scott, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Dave. How are you?
Doing good. So I was reading in my notes here, preparing for the show, and it was talking about the subprime home lending crisis in 2008 that Dodd-Frank Act was supposed to fix. But we've got a similar lending crisis happening again that Dodd-Frank does not apply to because the timeshare industry lobbied and got all of their debt not subject to Dodd-Frank. So they've got all this subprime money on the books, right?
Yes, that's exactly right, Dave. That's something that most people in this country, they don't know that is going on. But you have similar players that caused the subprime home lending crash back in 2008 that they're now engaged in the same type of lending because there was a one-term congressman from Florida, and he snuck two words into the exclusions from Dodd-Frank. He snuck in the words timeshare mortgages. So Dodd-Frank, which was designed to cure all of the lending problems that caused that crash back in 2008, it doesn't apply to timeshare mortgages. So you have the same culprit doing the same thing.
So let me guess, if we looked at that congressman's donations for his political campaign, we might find some large entries from the timeshare business.
Boy, if I had to bet the farm on it, I bet we would.
Yeah, because I bet the little sucker's not that crafty on his own. He was a brand new congressman. A lot of them aren't that bright.
Sure. Right. And you can bet that his campaign contributions, we know where they came from. They came from the billion-dollar timeshare pushers.
So you think that's why some of the state attorneys generals are acting like they're acting? And the Federal Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that's supposed to protect consumers, they're not doing anything at all. And the attorneys general, some of them are coming down the wrong side. They're coming after the exit people rather than the timeshare people. And do you think it's got to do with political contributions?
I do. I think it probably does. And I don't want to paint with that broad of a brush and put every state attorney general in the same category.
No, just the ones that are supporting the timeshare business. They're on the wrong side of the argument. They're supposed to be for the consumer.
Absolutely. You know, they picked the wrong side if they're backing a billion-dollar timeshare pusher over a consumer.
Absolutely. Hang on, we're going to talk a little bit more after this break. Scott Montgomery is an attorney in the business of exiting people from the timeshares. And he gets sued regularly by the timeshare business for doing this. Campbell's my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Scott Montgomery with Springfield, an attorney in Springfield, Missouri, is on the line, who actually sues timeshare companies and gets sued by them as a result to get people out, threatens to sue them to get people out because of the fraudulent activities. So, Scott, what is the latest on the timeshare front these days? It's been a little while since I've talked to you. What are you seeing and hearing out there?
Well, the lawsuits against timeshare exit attorneys, they're proceeding, and we're hanging in there. They've been picking off some law firms one by one, so it is difficult to try and find an attorney to represent you if you are a timeshare owner who has exited from the tiger cage and now owns a timeshare. Another thing we're also seeing is that big banks are getting involved with timeshare mortgages, and you are likely to walk out of the tiger cage with a new credit card, a brand new credit card, which has been maxed out to the tune of, let's say, $50,000, and that money has been used to purchase a timeshare, which has no value and which you probably can't use because it's been oversold.
Whoa! Wow. So when the ARDA, which is the Timeshare Industries Association, correct? The trustee, Richard Sargent, threatened on behalf of ARDA to eradicate timeshare exit firms. And the rumor was on the street that they had promised they would put tens of millions of dollars up for the purpose of running people out of the business that do exits like you, that help people get out of the timeshares. That was true, wasn't it?
Oh, that was absolutely true. And the billion-dollar timeshare pushers have absolutely spent tens of millions of dollars trying to put small law firms like mine out of business. And if I was a shareholder of one of those timeshare pushing companies, they're publicly traded. If I was a shareholder, I would be furious that my money has been wasted trying to pursue these companies that try to help people get out of their timeshares.
So the Diamond Group did, the sale to Hilton did close, and we're hearing that Mike Flasky and his executive team all got put on the street. Have you heard anything about that?
I've not heard anything that I can share on the air, Dave.
Okay. I don't know. I can't confirm it or deny it. I just thought I'd ask an expert. So I think I just got my answer. Oh, that's fun. Oh, so if someone is in a timeshare, what are their chances of doing an exit successfully?
Well, it depends on the company from which you purchased your timeshare. It depends on whether you are paid in full or whether you have one of those horrible timeshare mortgages. If you have a timeshare mortgage, it has probably been sold to an investment banker or to a Wall Street type, and that timeshare company is going to hang on to that mortgage debt tenaciously, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get out. But there are methods. I'd like to encourage people to look into charging back on their credit cards if that's a possibility, and hire a good attorney who can negotiate for you or arbitrate for you or file a lawsuit for you. Those are the legal ways to try and get out of a timeshare, but you're going to need the assistance of a professional.
Wow. Yeah, that does work. Well, Scott, thanks for your time, and I appreciate your expertise on this subject and your knowledge of what's happening in the business out there. It's pretty crazy times. Lots of people in your world are going out of business, have been run out of business, and I'm glad you're sticking in there. And our prayers are with you that you can turn the corner. It's truly a David and Goliath story, George.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking that it's a bad financial investment when it takes an attorney to get out. That's how you know this is a dangerous game to play.
Yeah. Well, here's what happens. See, like if Marriott finances your timeshare, they take that mortgage and sell it to a hedge fund. The hedge fund gives Marriott money. Now, the hedge fund is expecting to be paid on the mortgage. They're really somewhat innocent of the fact that you got screwed over here. They just bought a piece of paper that says you're supposed to pay them, right?
Yeah.
And so then you go to Marriott and say, you people committed fraud in the presentation, which we can prove. And Marriott says, you know what? You got us. We committed fraud. And so we're going to let you out of your timeshare. But we can't help you with the mortgage because we don't own it anymore.
They've washed their hands of it.
And so we got your money because we got our money from the hedge fund. But then the hedge fund's sitting there holding the mortgage. That's what Scott's talking about. It's dadgum near impossible to get out of one if they've sold off the mortgage. Now, if Marriott was still holding the mortgage and you accused them of all this, and they said, oh, we'll let you out of everything. Oh, this is really bad. We're even going to let you out of the mortgage. They have they own the mortgage, and then they could let you go, right?
Yeah.
But this is the kind of companies you're dealing with here in these things with Wyndham and with Diamond, now Hilton, owning Diamond, and Westgate. These are the primary players, Blue Green, the big players in the business. Wow. Anton is with us in New York City. Hi, Anton. Your timeshare story.
Hey, Dave. Hey, George. How's everything? So back in February of 2019, me and my girlfriend, we were just walking through the mall, just minding our business. And, you know, this well-dressed man came up to us and, you know, he was just calling us over to him and he was just talking about, you know, vacation packages. He never used the word timeshare, but basically the one thing that he was selling was that if we went to the meeting, we wouldn't have to purchase anything, and the only thing that we would have to do is just sit through the presentation, and we can get, like, you know, 2 or 3 free nights stay or something like that. And we found that appealing, especially since he really stressed the fact that we wouldn't have to purchase anything. So we agreed. We said okay. And the following month, this is out in the Poconos, we went out there to sit for the presentation, and they got us. We thought we would only be there for maybe an hour or two, but they had us there for about 4 to 5 hours. The guy that was selling us the timeshare was going through, he never used the word timeshare. He said it was a vacation package and how, you know, this is basically, you know, timeshares of the future.
What's the name of the company?
Club Exploria.
Oh, wow. So after a couple hours, why do you not walk out and just give him the finger?
I'm telling you, Dave, like after about 3 hours and right before he proposed driving us around the complex and showing us the different, you know, homes and rooms, that's when, you know, me and my girlfriend, we started saying to ourselves, like, okay, this is a little too much. We're getting a little uncomfortable, but man, Dave, I'm telling you, this guy would not quit. He was honestly the most pushy guy
What'd you end up paying for it?
So they started high, but eventually they were able to bring it down. You know, that's the tactics that they use, but they brought it down to around $10,000.
Mm-hmm. What's the end of the story? Did you ever get out of it?
Yes, we did end up getting out of it. We used Timeshare Exit Team.
And they got you out?
And they got us out.
Yeah. What did that cost you?
About $4,000.
Okay. Yeah, so you pay $4,000 to get out of a $10,000 screw job, but now you're free.
Now we're free, yeah.
And you learn a lesson. Man, I'm so sorry. Wow. Well, there you go. Club Exploria in the Poconos.
A guy in a suit in the mall. That's all it takes.
Hey, Opry Mills Mall over here, they'll come up to you and start selling you, and they'll tell you Dave Ramsey's got one.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna get a hidden camera and go over there and you know, like on my baseball cap or something.
I'll go with you.
And
this will be fun.
Then I'll show them my driver's license and go, you know what? Dave Ramsey doesn't have one. You little twerp!
Oh my goodness. I would pay good money to see this.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm getting excited about it. Let's take a trip.
George, we need something to do. We don't have enough to do with our time. George Camel, well, that puts a timeshare hour in the books. Thanks to James Childs, Kelly Daniels. We'll be back right here on The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the EntreLeadership podcast and a brand new podcast on the Ramsey Networks called The Fine Print. A new episode of that dropping this week on Bitcoin. If you're interested, jump into the fine print, and you can find out in lots of different businesses and industries where the fine print is stinging you.
Oh, yeah. We talked to a 17-year-old kid who at 14 years old mined some Ethereum coins and now can't remember the password to his computer and is locked out of $462,000 worth of Ethereum. All from a computer password.
You know, that happened to me once. Not!
I was hoping, I was like, Dave, you ever had $500,000 on the line?
No, it didn't. I never lost $500,000 in a computer.
Other ways, but not
I
through a
have
computer.
found a way to do it other stupid ways, but wow. And mining those coins takes a lot of electricity and a lot of technology.
Yeah. His parents walked in and said, "What are you doing, man?" It's this 14-year-old kid with script on the computer. He thought he was hacking into the mainframe.
Well, and the house is melting down because the electric meter outside is going, whee!
It can't handle it.
Yeah.
We heard some crazy stories. We talked to a lot of people. Courtney Dykstra was on there sharing her story about her crypto experience.
Oh, she had a crypto experience.
Yeah, back when she was in the news days, and she was glued to it. It's addictive. It's gamified.
Oh.
You're day trading, right? It's always moving. It's 24/7, worldwide, unregulated.
And that's why people get so pissed when you and I bring it up, because they're hooked on it. Oh, the dopamine.
You're starting to get this, yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to listen to this.
It's fun.
It'll be great.
It's a wild ride.
Open phones this hour. Jennifer is in Fort Lauderdale. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I own a home here in Fort Lauderdale, and I owe about $292,000 on it. The realtors keep saying I can sell it for about $680,000. The problem is I have $37,000 in debt. I have a BMW that I owe $20,000 and $17,000 in credit card debt. I've got a guy saying, let's just refinance the house, put the $40,000 in the mortgage, $348,000, and I can save you $1,200 a month, and you can pay an extra $1,000 a month and get it paid off in 10 years. The problem is I make over $150,000, but it's like, I get commission checks, so it's always hard to budget correctly. So
you sell, don't you? You sell for a living, don't you?
I have a shopping problem.
Are you a salesperson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Me too, because you sound just like I used to sound. I tried to out-earn my stupidity for years, and then I tried to borrow my way out of it. And you can't out-earn it. It catches up, doesn't it? You make $150,000 a year. There's no reason for you to have this debt except you've just been lazy and disorganized, girl.
I know.
You don't need to refinance your home.
I'm thinking about selling it because I'm moving to the West Coast by my parents, and I'll make $400,000, buy something cash.
Let me help you with this. That's treating the symptom, not the problem.
Okay.
The problem is you're not handling money well.
I know.
And I want you to do that for your sake. Okay? I love you, and I want you to win. But because I'm just like you. That's why I can read your mail. It's this exact kind of stuff I did in my 20s that caused me to be constantly broke. And so, when you can get organized, you feel like you got a raise.
Yeah. So what's the total amount of debt here?
$57,000.
And you make $150,000 a year. This is an easy math equation.
Well, no, I have the $292,000 on the house, and then I have $37,000 for the car and the credit card debt.
And $20,000 on the credit card. That's $57,000 plus your house, right?
I have over $17,000 in my bank right now that I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to get you on a really, really tight budget where every single dollar does one thing: reduce debt. I mean, let's pretend that you really, really, really sacrificed and you lived on only $100,000 for 1 year. Cry me a river.
Mm-hmm.
And you took the other $50,000 of your income and you became debt free in 1 year. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Are you there?
Yeah.
She was so shocked.
Yeah, I'm here.
Speechless.
Was that sound when you fell back on the floor?
And Jennifer, if you're following the baby steps we teach, you're not paying off the house until baby step 6.
The house, I'm not worried about the house. Your house is in great shape. You got a ton of equity in a great real estate market. Now, if you want to sell, super duper, sell. But don't sell because you have a Beamer debt. Don't refinance because you have a Beamer debt due to your disorganization and never having applied yourself to this. Let me ask you this. Do you set goals on your sales?
Yes.
There you go. Well, we're talking about game plan tonight, Dave, and I've been digging into this goal stuff. And once you put the numbers down and on paper, just your consumer debt, not the mortgage, this is baby step 2 we're talking about, you're going to have $1,000 in savings. The rest, the 16, we're throwing at the debt, and we're going to follow the debt snowball.
Almost all the credit card debt's gone.
Yeah. And now
Chop
you're
up
down
the
to
credit
one debt.
cards and never use them again. Get on a written budget, and let's reach over there and knock that rest of those credit cards out and then knock that Beamer out. And this, what I'm telling you is it becomes a goal. When you set a goal in sales, you say to yourself, I got to kick it in gear. I got to game on. I got to make it happen to hit this goal, right?
Right, but the only other problem is my house, I still need to put a new roof on it and windows, which is another $40,000. You get what I mean? So
if you want to
right
sell
now,
your house,
25
sell your house.
I don't know.
But don't sell your house because you're in debt.
Yeah, okay.
You make $150,000 a year, and we're telling you how you can get out of debt. And if you want to sell it, sell it. I don't care. I'm not, but don't refinance it and don't sell it because you're in debt, because you're going to go back in debt. Because you never fixed why you went in debt in the first place. And if you don't learn to save up the $40,000 to fix this house, you're going to go into debt for that too. And you have to stop this. You have to get the debt off the table and say, I'm sick and tired of constantly paying the freaking bank. I make too much money to be this broke. You have $17,000 to your name and you make $150,000. Get disgusted, girl. Get mad. Not at yourself in a bad way, but get mad enough to change and say, that's it. I've had it. The worm has turned. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Whatever it is, you have to yell up into the clouds and say, God, help me. I need your help. This is killing me.
Yeah. And she's got a great shovel, Dave. So this is not a
She
fire.
makes a lot of money. She's a smart girl.
She could cash flow the home repairs. She can get out of this debt, and she could do it all in a year if she gets to selling.
So 97 fixes the house and makes her debt free. Oh, minus 16. So 81 does that, making 150. So let's just say we put $40,000 a year towards this program. In 2 years, you're debt free and the house is repaired.
And that's conservative.
That's very, because you can't pay out $40,000 a year making $150. You are not applying the principles. This is what we do here, people. This is what we do. You hang on, girl. We're going to sign you up for Financial Peace University. If you will do what we teach, you're going to be there in just a matter of years. If you don't, I predict you're still going to be in the mud. This is The Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. hubby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage are Jeff and Ann to do their debt-free scream. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, Dave. We're great, thanks.
Good to have you. Better than we deserve. George and me both. So where are you guys from?
We're from Medina, Ohio, near Akron.
Oh, fun. And how much debt have you paid off?
$74,381.
I love it. And how long did this take you?
It took us 18 long months.
Okay. And your range of income during that time?
It was from $53,800 to $63,000.
What do you guys do for a living?
We're both retired.
Okay.
Working part-time.
Okay.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Not a bad income. So you've got some retirement income coming in.
Yes.
Then.
Yes.
All right. And what kind of debt was the $74,000?
You're going to love this one. Timeshare.
Oh, no!
Did we plan this?
The whole thing?
No. There was some credit card debt, timeshare loan, an equity loan on the home, and a car loan,
Lease.
So do you still have the first mortgage on the home, or does that mean the home's paid off too?
No, we still have the first mortgage.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. So how long you guys been married?
Almost 50.
Almost 50 years.
January will be
January 8th.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is so awesome. So after that many years of marriage, what happened 18 months ago that set you on fire and said, we got to get out of debt?
We signed up for a financial peace class at our church.
Oh, wow.
We had been thinking about it for a couple of years, but we were normally vacationing during the time when it was offered. And we decided.
But we almost didn't do it because we had to go to our timeshare in Florida at that time.
This is too ironic.
And I know, someone from church, because we're older, it seemed like most people doing this were younger. And she said, oh, they were older too. She said, let's do it with us.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, we'll do it with you. And then we were going to miss a couple of the classes. Oh, no, now what do we do? Well, she said, Amanda Sharon, who is Amanda and Jason are
Our cheerleaders.
Taught the class. She says, oh, you can watch it. Just, pull up your laptop and watch it while you're on vacation. So we did.
Oh, wow.
And so we had no excuses. And the timing was God, very much God, the whole thing, just everything way it worked.
When somebody's been married for 10 minutes and they say, we're going to dive in and we're going to go crazy and we're going to pay off $74,000 in 18 months, that's impressive. When you have been married almost 50 years and you decide to do this, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's harder to break all those habits that you've built.
That change in mindset, what in the world? This is so intriguing. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you said 18 long months. Did you mean that?
Yes, it was a struggle, particularly for me. I didn't want to cut up the credit cards. I didn't want to really do the program at all. And
what made you guys decide to do it?
It was working for Amanda and her husband, for sure. And we needed to do something. We didn't want to leave. As far as the legacy, we didn't want our children to have a debt, have our debt, and
right.
when we're gone, we want to be free and clear.
Yeah.
And we had been working on our own, just trying to nickel and dime it a little bit here and there, and we weren't really making any progress. And we needed to take that next step.
Yeah. So the frustration of that said, okay, I'm going to try this weird gas system. We're going to go in, and our friends are doing it, and it's working. So I'm going to go in, and that's what turned the corner for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to do it at first. You said, and that's me. That's how I would be. I'm like you, Jeff. That's very cool. It's very impressive. Wow.
So part of it was. A lot of it was the timeshare. We ended up talking to the timeshare exit people, and they told us we should go directly to Diamond to be able to get out of it. And so that's what we ended up doing.
So you didn't actually use timeshare exit. Instead, you went straight to Diamond.
They told us to go to Diamond.
And how much trouble was that to get out?
Quite a bit. It took months, and we
had to pay $1,000 every time you sign up for more points. That's a deed. So we had 3 deeds. So it was $1,000 for each of those. And then we had to get all of our maintenance paid for, of course. And the maintenance, oh my goodness, it went from about $400 when we first got in, and it was about $1,800 a year at the end. Yeah. We had really 3 mortgages. I mean, because we had our equity loan, which had the highest interest rate you could think of, and then our regular mortgage and the equity loan. So we considered those 3 mortgages, and now we're down to 1.
Wow.
And we redid our mortgage. It was 30 years. It's now 15 years. And 2 point something %. I forget what the.
How's it feel?
Amazing.
Wonderful.
That's like a big burden's lifted off our shoulders.
Worth the 18 months of tough.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to know. I'm going to be completely inappropriate. How old are you guys? 72?
I'm 75 and...
I'm 70.
70. Okay. So you robbed the cradle 50 years ago. Old 25-year-old boy married a 20-year-old girl. I love it. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
I'm so proud to know you. Very, very well done. And I'm honored that we had a little bit to do in your wonderful story. The number of people that are married 50 years is almost none to start with these days. And then on top of that, you guys have decided late in life to just try a new chapter.
Yeah.
And that's very, very impressive. Most people get stuck in their ways and don't do it. You guys are very neat people.
And we might come back. We would like to come back when we get our mortgage paid off.
I would love to have you.
And have a total debt.
Kelly will move you right to the front of the debt scream line.
You got a fast pass.
Debt-free scream line. That'll happen. Yeah, you guys are amazing. I'm so proud of you. We got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure, without a doubt. And then we'll give you a copy of the Total Money Makeover to give away to somebody and maybe get them started. Because a friend got you started in Financial Peace University. That's how this all happened.
Can we mention our family?
Sure.
We have 3 children, grown children, and 10 grandchildren.
Wow.
Some of them are watching, so.
That's fun. Life is good. If I'd have known how great grandbabies are going to be, I'd have been nicer to their parents.
Yeah.
You guys are fun. Well done, well done, well done.
Thanks.
All right, Jeff and Ann from Akron, Ohio, $74,000 paid off in 18 months, making 53 to 63. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
That'll put some pep in your step.
Man.
I love that story.
Don't tell me it's too late.
75 years old, and they decided.
Don't tell me it's too late. It's not too late. Not too late at all. And it's not too late for you guys to sign up and join us for Game Plan tonight. You can execute a game plan and do just what they did.
Exactly. I'm going to be sharing about how to set the right goals and actually see success. And I share my own stories of failures and the stuff I've learned that have helped me accomplish my financial goals. And it's a lot of the stuff that we're hearing in these debt-free screams.
Yeah.
They had a big why.
And you and your wife are getting ready to pay off your house.
Oh, yeah.
Just around the corner up here.
Just a few months away.
On the way. And you keep asking for a raise. I know what it's for. I'm kidding.
It's for a good reason, Dave. Just know that.
You guys, man, this is incredible. So here's the deal. 7 p.m. tonight, Central Time, we have a free live stream with #1 best-selling author Christy Wright, which is a Ramsey personality, George Camel, Ramsey personality, sitting here to my right, and, of course, me. And we're going to be talking about goal setting, about the information from her book, Take Back Your Time, and certainly about laying out a money game plan. It's all free. Text GAME PLAN to 33789 and join 20,000 of your closest friends online. Game Plan to 33789. All one word, Game Plan to 33789. 7 o'clock tonight, it's a free live stream. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Lou and Brittany are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing fantastic.
Good. So good to have you guys. So where do you live?
We live in New Prague, Minnesota.
Which is near?
It is an hour south of the Twin Cities.
Okay. All right. The Minneapolis area then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
$49,016.66.
Way to go. And how long did that take?
13 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
$27,000 to $90,000.
Wow. Nice jump in 13 months. What do you do for a living? What happened to the income?
So I am a media specialist for 2 different companies, for Calvary Church and for my father's company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a truck driver, so I drive semi-trucks locally, so I just deliver to local stores and restaurants.
Okay, what'd you guys do to triple your income?
That's exactly what we did.
He took a truck driving job?
Yeah, he changed over. He was in manufacturing, and then through a series of events, he ended up in truck driving.
I love it.
Wow, nice
Very
raise.
good. Well, it worked out.
Yeah.
So what kind of debt was the $49,000?
We had a little bit of everything. We had credit cards, we had medical bills, we had 2 car loans, we had student loans, we had house renovation projects. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good, you guys. Very good. So what happened 13 months ago that got you on this journey?
well, Lou actually lost his job because of COVID. And so then we were down to just my income, which is why it was so low at the beginning. And it was like, oh no, we've already overdrafted in our account prior to him losing his job. I'm like, how are we going to survive now? And I had just read your financial peace book. My parents had given it to me from like an old class they had taken. And so I had read it in February, and then April hit, and that's when he lost his job. And so it was like, we have to do something. So I convinced him, hey, there's a free trial online. Let's go watch the FPU classes. And so we watched them together within a week.
Binged it.
Yeah, we just watched it all the way.
I
because
like
I mean,
it.
what is he going to do?
You can binge Financial Peace, or you can binge Tiger King.
Choose
right?
wisely.
All right.
Yep, and so that's what got us on the journey.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you. And you went into gear. I mean, hardcore.
Yeah, he took on 3 jobs. So it's like he went from having no job to having 3 jobs. He was working manufacturing for 10 hours, and then he would go to a pizza delivery place for another 5 hours at night. And then on the weekends, he was doing truck driving to ease into the full-time truck driving that he is now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys.
Thank you.
Excellent work. I'm so proud of you guys. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Well, for me, definitely the budgets. I think that just having a plan and having it on paper or in an app, we love the Every Dollar app, that is just huge. You can't keep track of it in your head. I thought I could. You can't. You overdraft. That's how you overdraft.
You tried to budget in your head. That's impressive. So how old are you two?
We're both 26, but he's turning 27 on Thursday. So.
All right. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well done.
You guys have any cheerleaders along the way?
Yes. So we have my family here with me. They were huge cheerleaders for us. And then our church family was really big and was always asking us, well, how far are you? How close are you? And so they were really helpful as well.
You got into so much you got the T-shirts printed and everything.
Yeah, we got to tell people what is on
Live
this T-shirt.
like no one else, with a gazelle on it, his says, and then hers is warning, may start talking about budgets at any time.
I love that.
That's spreading the love.
It went from being all in your head, and now you're just talking about it constantly. I love that.
Yeah.
It moved slightly.
Yeah, and we brought a third one because we had an announcement to make. We are pregnant with our first child.
Woo! Congratulations. If you're listening, let me tell you what's happening. It's the most adorable baby shirt, and it says, I'm in the debt-free club.
I love it. Well, congratulations. So does everybody know already back home?
Well, now they know.
Oh, no, this was it. This was the official announcement.
Yes.
We had to.
What better way? They've got a great platform to share the news on.
Exactly. Now they have to watch it. Right?
Yeah, they got to watch your debt-free screen. This is great, you guys. Wow. Well, congratulations. This is what a special year this has been.
Yes.
Your whole lives are changed. I'm so proud of you for taking control, and both of you, neither one of you are afraid of hard work. You're willing to put in the hours to get it done, and once you take control of this, you know you can take control of a lot of things. Yeah. So very, very, very well done. All right, we've got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you because obviously you're having a new legacy. That's awesomeness. Very, very cool. Next chapter in your story is Baby Steps Millionaires, without a doubt. You guys are fun. Very well done. And we got a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away to someone since you can't stop talking about budgeting. You can give them a copy of the book,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
I'll shut up if you read
probably.
this.
Hand it out and go, read this. Yeah, that'll work. Very, very cool. All right, Lou and Brittany and Baby from Minneapolis. $49,000 paid off in 13 months, making 27 to 90. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're
We're,
pregnant and debt-free.
debt-free.
Wow.
That was fun.
What timing. Oh, that is fabulous. You can't beat that.
Can't beat a baby announcement and the debt-free announcement all at once.
Yeah,
Just knock 'em out.
very, very, very cool. Blinds.com gives us our question of the day. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Tony in New Jersey. I know Dave teaches about investing in the 4 mutual fund categories through a 401k or IRA, but I prefer investing in single stocks on my own. I deposit money regularly in my Robinhood account, and it seems to be doing pretty well. What's the downside to this type of investing as long as I'm contributing from every paycheck? This one we're exploring on the fine print, Dave.
Oh.
This is going to be a whole episode on DIY investing, on Robinhood. A lot of stuff in the news about Robinhood. And this is an area where, people feel like they can be tricky. They go, well, I get Dave's stuff. It's old school. It's a little boring. It's a tortoise. But, Dave, I've made some good money off some single stocks this year. Tesla's been doing great. I'm throwing some money into Tesla. And the problem is, until you touch the hot stove, you feel like you know what you're doing cooking in the kitchen. And so my worry for Tony is that if you want to mess with single stocks after you've done the 15% retirement, and this is fun money for you, and this is a real small percentage of your portfolio, that's fine. But don't put all of your eggs in this single stock basket. That frightens me.
Yeah. The Bible says, spread your portions to 7, yes to 8, for disaster may come upon the land. That's a biblical version of diversification. Leaving all your eggs in one basket. Some idiot on Wall Street is twirling the basket, and you're betting everything on that one idiot. That makes you not smart. Diversification lowers risk and increases rates of return over a long period of time. It's a standard portfolio management process that has been used in financial planning for decades, and it outperforms the single stock investor. Maybe not on the short term, but single stock investors are a lot like fishermen. All they talk about was the time they caught a boatload. They never talk about the time they went out there and lost everything. They never talk about the time that it went through the floor and everything got messed up because some idiot was playing margin on them. And so, Tony, you're asking for it. You're playing Russian roulette with your money. You're asking for it, and you're going to get your head taken off, son. The market's going to correct you a little bit, and it's just a matter of when, and then you're going to have an ouchie moment, and you're going to know what George and I are talking about. Diversification lowers risk. Spreading your money across many, many investments, like in a mutual fund, versus being in single stocks. You are asking for trouble. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you are here. Wynn is with us in Houston, Texas. Hi, Wynn. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Awesome. Hi. I'm a 25-year-old single guy. I grew up in Texas, went to college, got a master's in accounting. And then after college, I got a great job and moved to New York City for about a year when COVID hit, and I was a part of that group that, blessing in disguise, kind of escaped the city and migrated back to my parents, where I've been saving and working remotely and just saving, really. And so I don't have a lot of expenses, and I've put up about $45,000 in my 401k, in addition to kind of $23,000 just sitting in a bank account. And I'm looking to move back. And so my question is, what do I do with that extra money? Is it worth buying a rental property in somewhere like Houston where I can maybe one day move back and I can be making a little bit of rental income on the side? Or should I just park it in a IRA or mutual fund while I pay for rent in New York because I can't afford real estate in New York?
So you're going to be renting in New York, and you're wondering, should I buy some property for fun as a rental in Texas with this money?
Correct.
Use it as a down payment.
And then maybe move back into that property one day in 5-10 years.
Well, you may need a little more than that. I don't know you're in the Houston area?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, you're a young guy, and I feel like you're not sure where life's going to take you. I don't think rental property is a bad idea, and you may turn that into a primary residence one day. But I just think there's a lot of life ahead of you, and I don't know that, this is where you want to plant it right now with that chunk of change.
Yeah, two problems. One is you're getting ready to go into debt on the rental property, and two, it's going to be long-distance rental. So if I'm in your shoes, I'm not doing that for those two reasons. I'm just going to rent in New York for a little while and continue to pile up cash until you figure out what your long-term game plan is. Somehow, I don't think you're in New York City for 25 years.
Yeah, I don't think you're there.
Yeah. And when you come back to Houston or back to wherever you choose to come, quote, back to, Texas, Tennessee, whatever it is, that is when you would buy in that market. And by then you'd have a really, really good pile of cash. You might even pay cash for your first house.
I'd love that.
If you did that. That's a possibility. But no, I would not own long-distance rental property, and I would not go in debt to do it. Two reasons to stay away from that. Sounds kind of cool, sounds kind of fun, until the renter doesn't pay. All right, Zachary is in Atlanta. Hi, Zachary. How are you?
Better than I can, you know what I'm trying to say. Better than I deserve.
That thing, yeah. I got it. What's up?
So I have a couple things going on. First, I've been on your plan on the Ramsey plan for quite a while. I've gotten out of debt, I think twice, totaling over $28,000 total. That was all due to a workers' comp lump sum paying it off. So I didn't really learn the lesson, So right now I'm in Atlanta and I'm an electrician. I do that, and because COVID stuff, it's been back and forth on how much I'm making and things like that because they're raising prices and all that. I'm also a youth pastor, and it's basically just on Sundays and stuff like that, meeting with the youth, and the Lord's been really good there. So I have about $8,000 left in this debt and this grouping. I was at 18 a few months ago, and then I sold the truck, and that was hard to do, but I sold it. And we got about $8K left. We got a baby on the way, and I'm having an issue getting full going on the Ramsey way because I didn't learn the lesson the first time. And I think my issue is, one, I know I need to, the cooking, the eating out. I actually brought my lunch today thanks to my wife. My biggest issue that I'm having is with the envelope system. I'm not sure how to budget with envelopes with money that I don't already have in cash yet. And I'm kind of struggling with that along with I know I need to stop eating out. And I just want to get some advice on that.
Well, let's just use a grocery store envelope as an example. Okay? When you go to the grocery store, if you're not borrowing money to buy the groceries, you're either hitting your debit card and taking it out of your checking account, or you're taking out of your groceries envelope. Agreed?
Yeah, the cash. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would be wrong with taking the money out of your checking account and put it in cash in the grocery envelope? Because it's in there.
There wouldn't be an issue with that.
It's in there.
Well, no, so so at the end of the month, I get paid biweekly.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the month, the first of the month, I have rent come in.
Mm-hmm.
So all the money I'd saved up at the first of the month, okay, I'm like, all right, so let's say the 30th of September, we're going to sit down and do our budget, me and my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to want to put cash in there. Well, I'm not going to have any cash to put in any of the envelopes.
Then you're not going to have money to buy groceries in your checking account.
Until the church pays me on the 4th of every month, like they've been doing. And then...
my point is your system... Wait a minute, stop. You're not going to buy groceries for 4 days out of your checking account is what you're saying.
Yeah, we had planned the 2 weeks prior to get the stuff before.
Well, how did you... I mean,
that way I can make it
the envelope is not the problem. The problem is you didn't plan to have money for groceries.
Yeah.
If you've got money for groceries in your checking account, there's nothing stopping you from keeping it out and putting it in the grocery envelope.
Okay, I'm just processing.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? You can't write a check or use your debit card at the grocery store unless there's money in your account. Agreed?
Yeah.
And if there's money in your account, you could take that exact same amount out of your account and put it in cash into an envelope that says groceries on it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not short of cash unless you're short of cash. The envelopes don't change the equation.
Yeah. It's just I guess it's just when we're sitting down doing it on the 30th, I don't have any of the cash to put in for the beginning of the month till the 4th or...
Then how are you buying groceries between the 1st and the 4th now?
I would have bought it a week or two prior.
Ta-da!
So am I doing...
You fill the envelope when the next check comes in on the 4th.
Yeah.
Because that's the way you're doing it now. The only difference is you're running it out of your checking account. Am I missing something?
No, I'm hearing it. So whatever that next check is after the 4th, that needs to fund you through the next time you get a paycheck. So you can divide it up if you want.
That's what we had been doing, but go ahead.
But you're having issues with doing it that way?
With dividing it up. Yeah, that's the best way to say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Just divide it by 2. If you're getting 2 checks a month and your grocery bill's $200, you can put $100 in on one check and $100 on the other if that gets you through.
Or it's not going to be that. It'd be more than that. But the it's every 2 weeks, so you've got to look at the calendar.
Yeah.
Because you don't get checks on the 1st and the 15th. You get a check on every month on the 4th for your youth pastoring, and then you get a check every 2 weeks. So some weeks, twice a year, you get 3 checks in a month.
That's true. Yeah, because
you have the magic month when you get paid every 2 weeks. Yeah. And so 2 times a year.
December this year.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Exactly. So that's the point. And so what you've got to do is you sit down, you look at the calendar, and you say, this month, the month of September, I'm going to get, or the month of October now coming up, I'm going to get a check on X and Y, and I'm going to get a check on the 4th. And then you allocate each one of those checks across the things. And, oh, by the way, the very most important category of all is food.
Yeah. The 4 corners, I've heard you say before.
The four walls, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I had one more other thing if I have the time for it. So the wife is pregnant, and it's really hard to say no to a pregnant woman who's hungry. So do I need to set a separate budget for that to come out of, or do I just need to say, look, baby, we're just going to have to suck it up? And
the pregnant woman that's hungry has to say no to herself because she's building a life for her child. It's not your job to be her daddy. She looks in the mirror and says, it's good for my family for us to be on a budget and stick to that budget, and has to agree to the budget. You don't tell her what the budget is. The two of you together agree to the budget, and then she will be saying no to herself because she's like a grown-up woman and stuff. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Joining me at the top of the hour here, two Ramsey personalities, George Camel and #1 best-selling author Christy Wright. The two of them will be with us tonight. With me tonight, we will be doing the Three Musketeers here. We're going to be doing a live stream tonight. So far, about 20,000 of you have signed up, so my guess is it'll be somewhere north of 30,000 by the time we get there this evening. And looking forward to it. It's a free live stream at 7 p.m. tonight. Christy Wright, George Camel, me. It's called Game Plan, and we're going to be helping you put together a game plan. If you'd like to join us this evening, text Game Plan to 33789. Text Game Plan to 33789. All one word. And this is going to be exciting, Christy.
Yeah, it's huge because I love that we're hitting on topics that affect every aspect of our audience's life, from money, goals, and time. These are things that affect everything, and we're going to show them step by step how they can get it together. And man, I love that about our company. We were just talking about this Monday at staff meeting. We give information and instruction and also inspiration. You're going to need both, so I'm super excited.
Absolutely. And I get to go up first and talk about how to not only set goals, but see results. And I share my stories of failure, and I've had my fair share when it comes to goals. And I've learned so much from Dave, from Christy, from Entree Leadership, and I'm just lucky to be there. I mean, among you guys, this is squad goals. That's what we call it on social media, squad goals. So to share the stage with you guys and really tell people, here's how you make a goal, here's how you actually stick with it, here's how you create a vision for your life, for your money. And Christy, you talking about balance and priorities and doing the right things, and Dave really laying out the game plan that has worked for millions of people. I'm just pumped.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
And big announcement. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. Yeah, here we go. Take Back Your Time debuted at #1. It's a #1 best-selling book. Christy's second #1 last week, and we just got word over the weekend, actually, that you'll see it on the bestseller list. Like, for instance, the Wall Street Journal bestseller list is a #1. Publishers Weekly will be a #1, and so on. Take Back Your Time, all about getting control of your time. The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. Christy, yet another #1. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
Definitely
proud
a team effort, but thank you. It's so exciting.
The team at Ramsey works really, really hard on book launches and the marketing. And the whole process we put into this is very dialed in. It's very specific. And we also, the personalities work hard. Because you have done, 200 media hits in the past 2 weeks?
Yes. I think close to that.
It's just under 200 was the report I saw.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been on everything. And so talking about it, and that's, your hard work. Your work in putting this together. But most importantly, it's a book that life balance is about doing the right things at the right time, and you get to decide what is right.
That's right.
Powerful.
That's right. And it's amazing, too, because it is setting people free. I'm getting feedback on social media. They're saying again and again, wow, this is not just another time management book. This is not just a productivity book. I feel, one woman wrote in, I didn't just get my time back, I got my power back.
Ooh.
And I thought, okay, let's send that to the marketing team. Send that out on the website. That is true. That's true. That's the essence of it.
Yeah. Well, it is. When you've got control over your money, you've got control over your time, your life is different.
That's right.
When you feel pushed to the edge, I mean, I'm in about a 2-week period right now of just every 15 minutes or something going on in my stinking schedule. And it's my fault. I did it.
That's right.
But it's just busy. Just a busy season. And you just don't have much peace when you don't give yourself some margin. And, I'm fine with it because I know it's for a short period of time and I'm not complaining. But the point is, when you've got control of your time and you have control of your money, it gives you margin and it gives you a sense of power, what she said, and a sense of peace.
And I love that we talk about living on less than you make. But how many people do that with their time? No one has that kind of margin.
That's right.
And so I love that we talked about this on the Entree Leadership podcast, Christy, for leaders, but I love that this doesn't apply to just business. It doesn't apply to just moms. It applies to every human being who has anything going on. And I felt this. I needed the content more than a lot of people because we run hard, right? All three of us, we just go. And if we're not careful, we have that feeling of being out of balance and out of control. And the steps that you lay out are so crystal clear.
Yeah.
This isn't fluff. This isn't feelings. This is stuff that you have lived out and you have dreamed up for a decade now.
Well, thank you. And it's interesting, too, because, Dave, I remember years ago when you did a session for our company on one of our core values of family being a core value, and the way that you described balance at that time, this was, a million years ago at the old building.
Million.
I just keep saying a million.
I've told you at least 10 million times not to exaggerate.
It's my love language.
I wonder where she gets it from.
It's my love language.
Hey.
But you would say over the course, you might have a season of hustle, a season of rest, a season of this, that, the other. But over the course of your life, you feel balance overall. And I think that's a good reminder for someone that's in a season of hustle, in a season of getting out of debt, in a season of your 2-week, sprint here. That's what's right now. Now, if you spent a decade like that, you would burn out and be exhausted. But anyone, when we look at, hey, this is what's right in this season or in the summer, hey, we're taking Fridays off, going on vacation. That's what's right now. It just gives you that permission to do the right things at the right time and not feel guilty when you're super busy, and also not feel guilty when you put your feet up on vacation, because I love Ecclesiastes. There's a time for everything. And so I want to remind people of that and give them permission to focus on what's right for them.
Number one national bestseller as of this week. It launched last week, and so we're just getting the information in on Take Back Your Time, the guilt-free guide to life balance. The author of that, Ramsey personality Christy Wright, will be speaking tonight at 7 p.m. on this subject. Take Back Your Time, the guilt-free guide to life balance. George Camel will be talking with you tonight on the subject of goals, hitting them and setting them. And these things all weave together to put together a game plan. And I'll be speaking to you about some things you can do to get control of your money. And I'm fairly predictable on that. So,
you've done it a time or two.
Yeah. It wasn't hard to put the talk together. But so you won't be shocked. There won't be a new revelation from Dave on money. But if you haven't experienced this, it's a great thing to do. Sit down with your spouse, sit down with your friends, and watch this live stream. It is completely free at 7 p.m. this evening. Game plan. You need a game plan. You don't want a game without a game plan. Yeah, at least the big games, you don't. And you can wander in and with sheer talent knock it out sometimes. But if you're going to win the Super Bowl, you go in with a game plan. If you're going to win the national championship, you're going to go in with a game plan. And that's what we're going to teach you tonight, is give you a game plan at all of this. It's completely free. A free live stream at 7 p.m. tonight. How do you register? You type one word, game plan, no spaces, all one word, to 33789. Game plan to 33789. Congratulations again, Christy. We're all so proud of you.
Thank you.
Very,
Team was
very
amazing.
well done. Good stuff. Another number one. 2 for her. Woo! Boom. Drop the mic. It's done. Yes. I love it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Brent is with us. Brent's in Akron, Ohio. Hi, Brent. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My wife and I were in the process of getting ready to build a house last fall before all the pandemonium hit. And as we were finalizing our loan and stuff, the builder came back and said that the prices had gone up to the point where our build was going to be 50% more than what we had planned. So we nixed the build for last year. And
don't blame you.
We are trying to decide when the right time is to build, if we should just trudge ahead, or do we need to wait for the economy to settle down? Or, I mean, is it going to settle down?
It's going to settle down. Some of the artificial jump in the real estate and the cost of construction was driven by supply chain interruptions. And so people were not working in the factories, and they were not sending, as a result, finished goods that are required to build a home. For instance, lumber. And there was a shortage of lumber. So lumber spiked up. And it is an artificial spike, because what will happen is the factories will get caught up, and then when the supply starts to equal the demand a little closer, then the prices will come back down to more reasonable prices. Now, that is not necessarily going to happen with real estate. Real estate shot up, but it didn't shoot, and it shot up just because there was a frenzy in the market. We're not necessarily going to see a drop in prices, but we will see the frenzy dissipate over time. And so I agree with you. This is a horrible time to build a house. I mean, I've got some friends that are building, and it's just they're getting increases after increases after increases in their stuff. I've got a couple construction projects going right now, and they're hammering us on, for instance, steel. I just got a nice big bill on steel the other day, and we're building a conference center, even putting in the sound system into the conference center. I don't need it for a year, and I think we're probably going to go ahead and order it this month because they're anticipating increases in prices. But it's artificial because it's just due to shortages of the components. And so I think probably building a year from now or 2 years from now, you're going to see a whole different world to build a house in than you're seeing today. That's my guess, but, that may be worth what you paid for it, brother.
Yeah, we recently covered this topic on the fine print on the housing gold rush. So, Brent, go listen to that. It may give you some encouragement. We talked to Brian Buffini, and he gave us some great data on what's going on in the housing market. And it's encouraging, but like you're saying, Dave, you're not going to see the price just shoot way down. What we will see is things will slow down to where it's not frenzied and it's not all chaos and, bids 50% higher. So I think being patient is wise. And the thing with the housing market is you do it when you're financially ready. So if you follow the parameters that we teach, 15-year fixed rate, quarter of the take-home pay, you'll be in good shape. But I don't want you to wait 5 years because you're scared of what the market may or may not do.
Yeah, as far as the overall purchase of real estate, I completely agree. Again, lumber, copper, those are commodities, and they come and go on pricing. And I really do believe there's an artificial height in some of those things right now that is going to correct down, which is going to change the price of new housing. So your builder's not going to come in and go, oh, you're going to anticipate a 50% increase. Now, I'll just wait until that's not there, because I really don't believe that's going to continue.
Yeah.
But I do think real estate's going to continue to be a good investment long term. So what's the timeline, the horizon? I don't know. How long does it take these supply chain wrinkles to get ironed out? Yeah. And that's really what it amounts to. May is with us. May is in Portland, Oregon. Hi, May. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
So I am 20 years old, as well as my boyfriend, and we have no debt. We have 2 vehicles that we paid cash for, and we are currently living at his parents' house. We also have our emergency fund done and our 4-month emergency fund for the bills that we do have. And we are currently saving for either a house or down payment. we are wanting to get married, and we also want a bigger truck. I have horses, and we need a bigger truck to pull the horse trailer and whatnot. So we are just wondering what to do next, because all of them kind of are a large amount of money, and we can't buy a house with no credit. And so we're kind of lost in life.
So your next goal, you said, is to get married?
Yeah, we want to get married, and we are living at his parents' house, so we are wanting to get a house. We wouldn't like to rent just because we feel it's kind of a waste of money. We want to invest in a house.
So based on what you're saying, it sounds like you guys have already combined finances. What's going on there?
We actually do not combine finances. Sorry if that was confusing.
So you have separate emergency funds and separate accounts and separate savings and all that?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Well,
But
for sure.
I paid cash with my vehicle. He's paid cash with his vehicle. He has his 4-month savings. I have my 4-month saving. We both have our emergency fund. But he's just at work, so I'm kind of calling for both of us. And the future kind of involves both of our incomes if we were to get married. So,
So, well, number one, let me tell you, do not buy a house with someone you're not married to.
Okay.
Under any circumstances. Because you're going to get yourself into a mess. If this doesn't work out, the breakup is harder to do than a divorce is. And, it's very difficult to get out because, he just decides to leave. You got the house. It's in your name. It's in his name. And, or you want to leave, you can't leave because you've got a house and a mortgage and you're stuck in the thing. So do not buy a house prior to marriage under any circumstances, and don't buy any asset of any kind or combine accounts prior to marriage just because of that. So let me tell you what I've run into 30 years of doing this, May. This is why. Okay, there's all these worst case scenarios, but there's also stuff that's not quite this ugly. But here's an extreme one. Okay, couple gets engaged, they go buy a house together, he gets killed in a car wreck. Now she owns a house with his mother because he didn't have a will. You see how messy this gets? This is a mess.
Yeah, no, I do.
However, if you were married, now she owns a house. Instantly changes. If you're married, you're going to get the house. And, without a will even. And so with a will, it's a problem. So I would tell you, you're 20 years old, you got plenty of time to buy a house. You guys get married, go get you a rental property, or go get you a place to rent, inexpensive, pile up cash, get the truck, pay cash for it, do some of the stuff, start piling up cash for a good down payment. And if it takes you 2 or 3 years, you're 23 years old, you buy a house, you're not going to die?
Well, I guess he has one because it's more of his goal to get the truck, but he has like a checklist of $1,000 on a line, and every time he gets 1,000, he puts it away.
Okay.
So our goal is to put, or his goal is to pay cash for his truck.
That would be the only way he should buy one.
Yeah, we've been listening to you for quite a while, and we paid cash for both our vehicles, and they're both nice, so that was kind of rewarding.
My kids are my youngest is 10 years older than you. All right? So here's what I would tell you if you were my kid. I would say, go get married tomorrow and go get you a rental property by the end of the week. Move in a rental and start your life. Quit trying to play house under daddy's roof. It's a mess. That's what I would tell you. But you called the old guy and asked him, and you're going to get the old guy dad joke, right? So I'm sorry, but Dave's a boomer. Yeah, dadgum right. I actually am technically a boomer. So if boomer, the baby boomers are an actual demographic like millennials. It's like, you're a millennial. It's like you're calling somebody a name or something. He's a boomer.
I feel like only you can call yourself old, Dave.
It's a term of derision.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm comfortable with it. I like it. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Rudy and Tracy are with us. Hey, guys.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Good to have you guys.
Thank you very much.
And where do you live?
Goodyear, Arizona, Phoenix.
Phoenix area.
Yeah.
Okay, good market. Love that area. Well, welcome, guys. Good to have you. And you're up here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$68,000 plus.
All right. And how long did that take?
19 months.
Whoa. And your range of income during that time?
It was between 105 and 115.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I work at a warehouse food distribution center.
Mm-hmm.
And I work for our local church.
Awesome. Very cool. Good for you guys. Well, excellent. So what kind of debt was the $68,000?
The majority of it was solar panels and a car. And then the rest was medical and consumer debt.
Okay. How long y'all been married?
We just had our anniversary on the 22nd of this month, and it was...
This was our 20-year
20th
anniversary.
Year. We got married twice.
Okay.
Never divorced, just married twice.
That'll work. I'll take it. I have no idea what we're doing here, but yeah, that's
I'm
excellent.
doing the math.
Yeah, I'm so confused. But all right, so what happened 19 months ago or so that put you guys onto our stuff, and you said we're getting out of debt? Tell me about it.
Well, it was actually myself. I was doing some retail therapy while Rudy was working out of town.
Uh-oh.
Heard a single mom who paid off $70,000 in debt in 1 year, and was not only inspired, but I was convicted. We were two incomes, and were we doing the best we actually could be doing? And I really, when we gathered all the numbers, it was shocking. And it was that point that I said, we need to do something better. And at our church, they had a class. We joined it. And the rest is history.
Awesome. Well, way to go, guys. Congratulations. So it worked out. So where did you hear about this single mom?
It was I had the TV going on in the background as I was getting ready to go to work. And it was a morning show. And that they kind of spotlighted. And from there, I was just like, I always knew that I thought we were good at, budgeting. Mm-hmm. I was good at managing debt and not overextending, and had a really false sense of security. So we want the real thing, Dave.
George, that's
dropping mics over here.
Yeah,
what's happening?
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and I love the debt-free scream, going from inspirational to convicting. That's powerful to think about it in that way. You guys really had a big mental shift because you had a lot of mess going on. I mean, how much were these solar panels? I'm just curious.
It was over $20,000. Wow. For 20 years.
And we had leased a car prior that we were upside down in, so we tacked on an additional $6,000 to a car loan to get out of the lease.
So you're saying I was really good at managing all the debt, but we weren't making any progress.
No.
Not good at managing money, but I was good at managing debt. That's half of America right there, or more. I mean, that's a real insight. That's well said and well observed. Good job. And so poor Rudy comes home, and you've had this whole experience, and you say we're going to this class over at the church. What'd Rudy say?
I was on board. I mean, I'm pretty much, willing to try anything. I'm not like, I don't have that machismo. I'm like, it made sense. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, you're not hard to get along with like me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I would have argued. Just for the fun of it, I think. Just for the argument points.
Oh,
George, you're like him. You're
I'm
easy
more
to get
like
along
him.
with.
Yeah. Well, my
You're
wife
easy to
says
get
it.
along
I go, if it makes Whitney happy, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I generally say that, but I might argue about it a little bit first.
Yeah.
But, well, good for you guys.
Well, the silver lining and all that, Dave, is we were able to, through the pandemic, our son moved back home and finished school, college online. And you always kind of think as a parent, have I departed all, we could have. And this was the one topic that was really a conversation we need to have. And he was able to witness the progress in real time and be open to understanding, hey, we want you to, have the best, do well in life. Here's how you do it. And
don't wait till you're our age.
yes,
Yeah.
I love your legacy videos. It makes me cry every time, but that was what we really strongly wanted to do, was change our family tree and leave a lasting legacy.
Yeah. Absolutely powerful. That's very cool. So he bought in too.
Yes, he's doing quite well for himself. He moved to Washington to work, and I miss him terribly, but I know he's going to do well in life.
Yeah. Well, because he had some good parents. Yeah, you guys did a good job. I'm proud of you. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, now that you've done it, you're debt-free. You pay off $68,000 in 19 months. Tell people what the secret to getting out of debt is.
Well, for us,
budget.
Yeah, budgeting and getting reconnected with your finances. We were so disconnected that we didn't know the numbers that were coming in and going out, and it was nerve-wracking when we were doing everything in cash envelopes and, pulling out cash at the grocery store. I would literally get so nervous, that I'm holding up the line. I noticed that, and so I don't have it
That's getting reconnected to your money. That's a good phrase.
Physically
She's full
reconnected.
of phrases that are awesome.
I'm writing all this down. I'm taking notes.
This is great.
But I like that because, we each get our weekly, budget, and when it runs out, it runs out. There's no talent, no lying on that number.
And we also led a couple FPU classes at our church, so that kind of helps us stay plugged in and stays us to be accountable.
That's a big deal. There's something about teaching the class versus going through it that makes you can't be a hypocrite when you're teaching it. You can't do ish. It doesn't work. You got to do it full on, right?
Yeah.
So what's the name of your church?
Grace Walk Community Church.
Wonderful. Very cool. Well, they're obviously doing a great job. So well done, you guys. I'm proud of you. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good stuff. All right. Well, we've got a copy of The Legacy Journey, the book for you that I'll sign at the break for you, and a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away to somebody and get their journey started. You never know if you're going to be like that single mom that you see paying off $70,000. Maybe your debt-free scream today is going to wake somebody up. You never know. So you'll have the book in your hand, and you'll be able to do that. So good stuff. Very proud of you guys. You're heroes.
Thank you.
Well done. Very well done. All right, Rudy and Tracy from Phoenix, Arizona. $68,000 paid off in 19 months, making $105 to $115. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Love it! Well done, you guys. Very, very well done. Very powerful. Good stuff.
Inspirational couple. I have so many notes here. I mean, that was just so many mic drops and revelations that they had on their journey that I think will inspire people for a long time.
Well, when you say personal finance is 80% behavior and only 20% head knowledge, and then she says, I had to get reconnected to my money. That means she's observing that.
Yeah.
She's feeling that. There's a visceral thing that's happening there that says, I was just kind of living and my money was in the other room. And now it's right there in my face, and I've got to make it behave. It takes this sense of power and puts it back on you.
Yeah, America needs to get reconnected to their money.
Congress needs to get disconnected from my money. How's that for a try?
That's a whole other problem, Dave. We got to do it one at a time.
I did that with only 14 seconds left, and I can't really say everything I want to say. This is The Ramsey Show. scripture of the day, Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men. And Landers said, opportunities are usually disguised as hard work, so most people don't recognize them. There we go. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Brad is with us in Butte, Montana. Hi, Brad. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks, Dave, for taking my call. I've been trying to get in touch with the last few weeks, but thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Well, because a couple of years ago my dad died, but he left me and my brother.
You're kind of muffled. Can you speak directly into your phone, please?
Oh, sorry, I'm out in the wind.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Well, my dad left some land for me and my brother, but I've been in construction and drilling and building houses for the last, 30 plus years. I started really young. I started roofing when I was 12, but I got some medical bills and stuff like that, and that's really the only things I got. But I'm looking into doing like IRAs and everything, but like for medical bills and everything like that, can they go into an IRA or CDs or something like that, or what would be the best thing to do with the money?
Can they go in? You mean, can they take them if you don't pay them?
Well, I've been paying on them, but...
How much do you owe in medical bills?
If I cut everything up, probably over $100,000.
And how much is the land going to bring?
Probably right around $100,000.
Mm-hmm. And how old are the medical bills?
Well, I'm going back, probably 10, 15 years. The newest ones, I probably only owe maybe 10 grand, but a lot of them, those were the ones that, I'm fighting because the insurance said that they were going to pay it, and then they didn't. And, it was for, like, nerve ablations for my back and stuff like that so I can continue working.
Yeah. Okay, so if you paid that 10 grand out of the 100, then there's an old bills, all that are 10 years old, that are 90 grand?
Yeah. Within the last, 5 to 20 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit longer, 7 to 20 years.
Let me give you a principle, okay? They're not going away until you deal with them. You can't hide.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to teach you some kind of technique that gets you off the grid. That's not a goal. So the goal is, let's wipe them all out and clean them up. So here's the way I would do it. I would say probably that $10,000 is in the last year. I'd probably just write a check and pay those once you get through arguing with the insurance company. All right?
Okay.
Now, then you've got the other $90,000 worth, and you got some work to do, my friend. You've got some contacting them and working with them, and you can probably settle all of that for somewhere around 10 cents on the dollar. So somewhere around another 10 or 15,000 would pay off all of your medical bills for 25,000 total, give or take.
Yes.
And you should do that. And now you got 75,000 left, and you don't have the monster in the closet anymore.
But that's what I'm trying to, think of what to do with because I've been in contact with...
no, you were trying to think of a place to put it where you didn't have to pay the medical bills. Now, I just changed the plan.
No.
You said if I put it in the IRA, can they get to it?
Yeah, no, on that part, but I'm also trying... I just got to set up some time because I I've been in contact with a couple of the people in my area for investing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, you should do some investing with the money that's left after you get these medical bills settled. And then you don't have to worry about can they get to it. So, yeah, click SmartVestor at DaveRamsey.com, or I'm sorry, RamseySolutions.com, and it'll drop down a list of the people we have in your area there, and some of them can sit down and help you with the investing part of it, and you might check with one of our Ramsey preferred coaches that have been trained by us, and George, I think they could probably help him fight through the settlement issues with those old medical bills. What do you think?
Yes, you got to negotiate this stuff, and once you get rid of all this debt, hopefully that's all the debt, you've got to get the emergency fund in place if you don't have that, because I don't want you going back into debt. This This is a once and for all thing. And then we can talk about investing and work with a SmartVestor Pro so you can create a game plan to actually do this stuff the right way.
Yeah, but you for 20 years have not paid these bills, off and on. And so you're going to get back in the habit of paying the bills and getting them. And it starts with get the current ones cleaned up and then having the emergency fund for if something else comes up. Then you've got some money to cover that. And you make sure you get, an understanding of your insurance and what it covers so you don't end up in a mess again with them. And you've got, for your deductibles and other things, you've got the emergency fund in place. So really, the people that get burned on these things they get damaged the most financially by these processes is if you don't actively engage like it's a fight. And so like that insurance company situation he's got to get it. You got to lean in on those people.
Yeah, you got to advocate for yourself and fight this thing, and you can't keep kicking the can down the road because the can is still going to be there.
Yeah, and your toe gets tired.
That's true. No one talks about that.
Ryan is in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing so well. It's good to talk with you.
Good. What's up?
Well, I'm just going to get straight to the point here. Kind of question about a used car purchase. So my wife and I, we have $118,000 in student loans, no other debt outside of that, and our take home is between $150 and $160. And we have two paid for cars. Unfortunately, one of them really can't be driven anymore. So we're just trying to figure out
why
a good price. You have to do an e-check, and one of the cars can no longer pass the e-check.
Why?
Computer issues is what we were told.
One opinion. Get a second opinion. And the computer costs how much to fix?
Well, the mechanic that we were talking to mentioned it can be up to a couple thousand. And then he said that's no guarantee that it's going to, start working well.
Sounds like we need a new mechanic.
That sounds crazy expensive for a computer issue.
So what is the car worth?
Well, the car is a salvage title, so depending on if we go to a dealer or sell it, it could be up to maybe $5,000, but probably not much more than that.
Okay. Yeah, you probably don't spend $2,000 on this car to fix it, but
Exactly.
I think I'm going to get some other opinions to see if I can't get this computer thing fixed and rigged for a while longer. Are there other problems with the car?
No, it runs pretty well. Nice car, Subaru Legacy. It's just the computer issues or sensors in the car are really starting to pile up here.
Yeah. Well, I'm not spending $2,000 on it. I'm getting rid of it and buying another comparably priced car. This is not a reason to go and buy a $15,000 car because you got $100,000 in debt.
Yep.
So if you want to flip it over, break even, buy something in the $5,000 range, pay cash for it. If you can't fix it for $1,000, if you can fix it for $1,000, I'm probably driving it, but not for $2,000.
Okay.
That makes sense
All right.
to you?
I appreciate. Yeah, that's great. I really appreciate the advice. Thank
Because
you.
it sounds like it's not a bad car. $500 or $1,000 is worth throwing at it, but if it's going to be $2,000, it starts to not make sense anymore, and you want to bail out of it.
Yeah, and they take home 12 or 13 grand, so they could cash flow a comparable car in a month and not slow down their debt snowball much at all.
Yeah, and so if you want to flip it over and just you're tired of screwing with it, buy you a $5,000, that's fine. But the thing you got to fight is, I got this huge mountain of student loan debt. It's going to be a little while. It's going to be 2 years, 3 years before you knock that out. Sounds like. Then it's easy to go, well, that's permission to go buy Mama a nice car.
Yep.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's permission to buy Mama a different car that rolls with an engine that turns. That's simple. And that passes the E stuff. There you go. George Campbell, good show today.
Thank you.
Don't forget, folks, Game Plan tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. Text Game Plan to 33789 if you want to watch the live stream. That puts this hour in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit TheRamseyShow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.